Hi guys, I am making some of my beef Hamburger Helper Stroganoff today. I do mine in the Instant Pot. You can also do this in a pan on the stove. But I'm kind of excited. I'm recording this on my new phone. I upgraded my phone yesterday. So I now have a better video camera. So let's hope that this turns out a little better than it has been. But okay, so I'm going to start off. We're going to set our Instant Pot to saute. And like, I'm excited because y'all can like actually see what's going on inside my Instant Pot at the same time that I'm talking to y'all right now. Like, this is pretty exciting. Okay, so that's gonna heat up for a second. This one is super easy. There's very few ingredients that go into this sucker. You have your ground beef, you have your extra wide egg noodles, your seasonings like Worcestershire sauce, house seasoning, and parsley, a little bit of flour and butter, beef stock, and sour cream. I'm almost out of sour cream. I hope I have enough. Should be all right. I'll squeeze it out really well. All right, let's see. That's heating up. Want it to get warm, a little warm, before we add our ground beef in, just because it's a little easier to get it all broken up and beaten up. So we don't like mushrooms at our house, so we don't add mushrooms to this, but if you wanted to slice up your own mushrooms, throw them in there, you could also do that. That's kind of how versatile this recipe is. You can make it however you really want to, but this one, like, whoo, this one's the best. This was when my best friend Angel, she had never used an Instant Pot before, and I found one like super on sale, and so I sent her one. And she's like, well, what am I supposed to do with this? And so I taught her how to make this stroganoff recipe as well. And she was telling me the other day, she's like, you need to do a video on that one. She's like, that went over really well in my house. And I was like, okie dokie, I'll do that then. So I'm gonna add my ground beef in here, and let's get that starting to brown up our mix and chop. You always want to have the mix and chop, always. Okay, so since I don't use mushrooms, Worcestershire kind of gives the meat I don't know, it doesn't taste like mushrooms obviously, but it kind of just gives it that saltier kind of flavor that you would normally get from the mushrooms. So I put in lots of good dashes of that, as you can see, so that it tastes really strong in there. And you can adjust that to your own taste. You don't have to do it exactly the way I do mine. But the Worcestershire makes it taste really good. Really, really good. Okay, so get that good and mixed all the way throughout. And then, of course, our house seasonings. That salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, slap your mama for that little bit of kick of heat and a little extra saltiness. Slap your mama is probably like one of the best things. Tony's is the nice alternative if you can't get slap your mama anywhere. My friend Angel actually like sends me her, like from Louisiana, she sends it to me. But I did have my friend Shannon found me some at the HEB just down the street. So I hadn't been able to find it there before. Now I'm kind of glad she did. But that is the basic seasonings that go in every single dish that I make. And so we want lots and lots of that. And when I mix it up in my own little container, when I did that, I did a tablespoon of each, equal amounts of every single one of them, and then just throw it in here. And then it's nice and mixed up. Okay. Do a little stir action. So that keeps on browning everywhere. Add a little bit more of our seasonings. So good. All right. All right, now we're just gonna let that brown. Good and mixed up. Let that saute a little bit. That one takes sauteing the ground beef takes a little bit of time, but it's worth it in the end. And yeah, the only other seasoning that I use is parsley flakes, which I'll add the parsley flakes in a little bit. That doesn't have to, I always want to you want to make sure you season the ground beef while it's cooking. You don't want to brown it and then add the seasonings, because then the meat itself isn't actually flavored. So make sure that you are seasoning the meat while it cooks. Like I say, you want to season every single step of anything that you make. All right, that is getting brown. Just a little bit more pink in there, but yeah, it's definitely, I like that y'all can see it. That's exciting. I like that. I like it a lot. All right. And the fat is starting to drain out of the meats. And so the fat in the hamburger meat actually helps, thicken your sauce. We're gonna add some butter so that we make sure we have enough fat content to mix with our flour, so that it thickens up nicely. All right, that is brown. Easy peasy. Now we're gonna throw in a couple tablespoons of butter. That's soft. I left that set out too long, didn't I? A couple tablespoons of butter. And we're gonna mix that in. Let that get good and melty. Yeah, good and melted in there. You want it melted all the way before you add in your flour. That is an important step. Make sure that that is completely melted. You got just a little bit here left to, that's why the mix and chop also helps, because it helps break up that butter and get it good and mixed in while. Oh my gosh, that smells so good. That smells so good. All right. I'm gonna make sure I scrape everything off of my spoon here, my mix and chop, because we are done with our mix and chop for this meal. Okay, now I'm gonna take and do about a couple of tablespoons of flour. As you can see, this is bigger than a typical tablespoon would be. So I've kind of learned that this is about a tablespoon and a half. All right. And when you're making thick, creamy sauces, you always want to do equal parts butter or grease or fat or whatever it is that you're using, and the flour. So like a couple tablespoons of butter with, there was probably maybe a teaspoon of actual hamburger grease in there. So I did 2 tablespoons of flour, because that little tiny bit of extra bacon grease was not gonna do anything. So, I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, so we've mixed the flour up really good. And you see it kind of makes this thick, cakey ground beef mixture. but that's all right because it will break up in a little bit. So now we're gonna add some beef stock. Now you definitely wanna add the beef stock to deglaze the bottom of your pan in the Instant Pot. Make sure you get any of that ground beef that might have like stuck to the bottom, because the flour will make it stick to the bottom really easily. So you want to deglaze the bottom of your pan and get all of that stuck off, or your Instant Pot will give you the burn error message, and then you'll have to turn it off and do all kinds of other messy stuff. So we've deglazed with a little bit of beef stock. We're gonna toss in our noodles. So for just me and Jasmine, I don't know, that's probably about half a bag, right? Start mixing that in with our ground beef. You wanna stir it all over. Get it good and mixed together. Yeah. Good and mixed together. Make sure there's still not anything left stuck on the bottom. I'm actually gonna add a little bit more noodles. We like ours noodly. We like noodles around here. All right, let's add another little bit of ground beef in here. Keep it from sticking to the bottom while we stir. It is important, don't let it stick. You want the liquid to keep it from sticking. Right there, that little spot right there wants to be a little bit sticky and difficult. Make sure the liquid gets all the way to the bottom. All right. And now that our pasta is in, we're gonna add a little bit more house seasoning, because we wanna make sure that now the pasta gets good and flavored. We're gonna add our parsley. And I put lots of parsley in here. All right. Let's give that a good little stir. One thing I like about the Instant Pot is while it's on saute, like this part really doesn't get hot. So I can like hold it down and not burn my fingers. All right, let's add the rest of our stock here. And you're gonna end up with about 3 to 4 cups of stock here. I had one already open in the refrigerator, so I'm not sure exactly how much was in it. But yeah, so get that in there. Let's look at our, all right, we don't have, all of the Instant Pots come with a little notification here that tells you like if you're max liquid or not. I always try to make sure I don't overdo that one. All right, I'll just add in the last couple little drops that's in there. A little bit more liquid's not gonna hurt, right? It's a little bit more than I would normally say for this, because this you want to actually turn out like creamy and certainly not soupy. All right. So, I mean, the flour certainly helps to like thicken, but we don't want it. All right. Now, basically what I'm gonna do here is, little trick that I've learned is if you put it on, like once you put the liquid in, you kind of let this come back up to a bit of a boil before you put the lid on, and that will help it come to pressure faster. So that definitely, you want more heat in there because the hot liquid helps the pressure build up faster. So at this point, I'm just gonna watch it for about a minute or two. Really doesn't take very long at all. Just a little bit. Yeah, and here we're about the halfway full mark at this point. Yeah, so it's starting to form a little bit of bubble on the top. I don't know if y'all can see, like it's moving a little bit. I wanna make sure that we're on saute, it can stick to the bottom really quick. So make sure that we've got that scraped off the bottom still. So let it, yeah. Okay. Make sure all the noodles and everything get back into the liquid. Okay. And it's almost simmering. I know, they say a washed pot never boils. I'm watching it anyway. I actually know that this does not take very long. I'm aware. Here, I'll put my flour away. We'll put that away while we're here. And then I'm gonna save, so after this cooks, you're like, well, what about the sour cream, right? We don't wanna cook the sour cream in this portion of it because in the Instant Pot, it'll curdle, and we don't want curdled sour cream. We want creamy sour cream. So that comes in after this is already cooked. I know, it's like, oh, what happened? But yeah, so once this cooks, then we'll add in our parsley and our sour cream. And we might even do another little extra shake of house seasoning. Just to be on the safe side. So the Instant Pot is really easy. This would normally take, I don't know, how long have I usually cooked this on the stovetop? I don't remember. It's been so long since I've actually cooked it on the stovetop that I can't actually remember. I feel like it always took me like 30 minutes. Like it always seems to take forever, even though noodles like cook very quickly. My dogs are being nosy over here. Okay, so that has started to simmer again all the way through. So let's, well, I don't think there we go. Now he's on there. We want to make sure. This is very important to make sure that this is securely in place, or else our pressure is going to explode everywhere. Okay, so, whoops. All right, so I'm gonna cancel and I'm gonna pressure cook. So with egg noodles, since they're so thin, you really only wanna cook them for 4 minutes. Like that's it, 4 minutes, the end. So this will start, I'm actually gonna time it and see how long it takes our pressure to rise. I feel like it usually might take 5-10 minutes. It's really not very long. So that says, okay, 4:43. All right. Okay guys, now we're back. It took 8 minutes for this to come up to pressure, and then I cooked it for 4, and then I let it naturally release its steam for 5 minutes, and then the little thingy just dropped, and so it took 4 minutes for it to finish when I did a quick release on it and flipped the little switch over. That took 4 minutes for it to finish releasing all of its pressure. So let's do our next step. So I'm gonna do cancel because I don't want it to continue being warm. And ta-da! There we go. All right, let's give it a good little stir. All right, get everything good. Get that liquid mixed in. Smells so good, one of my favorites. But see, like the noodles are a little soft, but they're not completely gummy. So if we were to cook it any longer than 4 minutes, it could probably even go for 3 minutes. I mean, these noodles do not take very long to cook at all. Okay, so now we're gonna do our sour cream. I really don't have a whole lot of sour cream left in this. There's really not very much. But I haven't placed my Instacart order for any more, so. Usually I would use like at least, I don't know, 6 to 8 ounces of sour cream in this. So if I don't really have enough to get it to where I like it, I might add in some heavy cream. I don't know, we'll see. All right, let's squeeze in what we got here. I know it seems like a lot, but sour cream is very crucial for stroganoff. All right, it's really not very much. Let's see, let's mix it in and see what it does. And I did not turn this back onto saute. You do not want to continue sauteing it because it's already super duper hot, and sauteing it will only make the noodles cook more, and we don't want the noodles to cook any more than they're naturally gonna keep cooking in the warm liquid. All right, so that's not quite as creamy as I would like for it to be. I didn't really do much. That's what I get for not having extra sour cream on hand. So let's add in a little bit of heavy cream. This will help it thicken and stay creamy. Won't have quite that sour cream flavor that we really want, but you know, all right. Okay, that'll do. Let's do some more house seasoning because we added the heavy cream, so it needs that little bit of extra flavor. Lots and lots of more parsley flakes. All right, I don't know. Let's see if I can manage to squeeze any more out of this sucker. Oh, just a little bit. I just want all of it that I can get. All right. This was an impromptu meal, so I wasn't really prepared. I kind of went back and forth. I almost made macaroni and cheese today, but it's so humid and hot here, I did not want to turn on the oven. So this is how we're rolling today. All right, that is good and creamy. I wish I had a little more sour cream. That's all right. Still, y'all can see. Try not to spill it all over the place. Y'all can see. Ooh, see? There I go. Making a mess. Let me put it in my bowl. How about that? Yeah, let's put it in our bowl. It's a little more liquidy than I usually do, but like I said, I added that extra bit of beef stock just to get it out of the way. Just extra little bit. And then the heavy cream was not quite. And why not garnish with a little more parsley flake? Parsley's always good. All right. Y'all see how good and creamy that is? Delicious. Absolutely one of my favorites. All right, I was about to turn the heat off. The heat's already off. I just said that. I mean, come on. Yes. All right, I'm gonna go eat. And then in a little bit, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna do a little dessert that I've kind of been wanting to try. So the other day I had asked for suggestions on what to use the espresso flavored vodka with, and got an awesome suggestion for a milkshake. And so I have my homemade cinnamon ice cream that I like to make. That is so good. I'll show y'all that one of these days too soon. Maybe even tomorrow, because I'm about to use the last of what I have in there today. But I'm gonna use the espresso vodka and the cinnamon ice cream. I don't know, I might throw in some chocolate syrup, you know, just to see what happens, and make a milkshake out of it. So that's gonna be our dessert today. So I'll see y'all in a little bit. All right, guys, it's time for our boozy milkshake. our espresso milkshake, our espresso cinnamon milkshake. So this is what I have. I have this double espresso vodka, and I have my homemade cinnamon ice cream. It's my favorite. It's so good. It is so good. All right, so I'm gonna start off with, let's see how much ice cream it'll take to get in here. I don't know, how much ice cream does a milkshake usually take? I don't know. Maybe let's add a little bit more. Woo. Yummy. Oh. Y'all have to have cinnamon ice cream. All right, let me at least get that off the back of my hand. I don't know. Does that look like about enough? No? Let's add some more. Okay. I guess we'll see, right? Let's do our little big guy of vodka. It's like so tiny I can barely unscrew it. It's itty bitty. All right. Whole bottle, half a bottle. What do y'all think? Ooh, it smells like espresso and vodka. All right, let's do half a bottle for right now. If we want to add more in a minute, we can. All right, let's add some milk because it's a milkshake. All right, is that going to be enough? I don't know if I've ever made a milkshake before. I don't know. Let's go ahead and throw in the last of my ice cream here. Get in there. It's not enough left to do a bowl with. Just another spoonful. We'll make some more tomorrow. Oh, let's full bottle it. Why not? I won't have enough ice cream to do another one anyway. Okay, let's fill that sucker up. Let's turn this sucker on. I got my little magic bullet over here. Ooh, you know what? Pause. Let's unscrew that. I was gonna do some chocolate syrup, because chocolate and espresso and cinnamon go great together. All right. There's some chocolate syrup on top. Let's see what this does, huh? Make sure that's on there. All right. Okay, let's see. That smells good. I almost want to add a little more chocolate syrup. It's nice and soft as like it's not quite as frozen as I would expect it to be with the ice cream, but I guess the ice cream is kind of creamy, huh? I bet if I poured some off and then added ice cubes or something, it'd be kind of like a frosty consistency. Oh my gosh. Oh, that is so good. Okay. That could get me in trouble. Like, you can't even taste vodka. Tastes like chocolate milk with cinnamon added in. Oh my gosh. That is so yummy. You know, say it's like chocolate milk, but it's gonna get me drunk. Oh my goodness, this is so good. Wow. I might have to buy like a big bottle of this and have a little party that I can make some milkshakes. Make them a little more frozen, do a full batch of our cinnamon ice cream. Y'all, this is so delicious. Cheers. Have a good night.